Good afternoon, meteorologist Mike Linden coming at you live from the MyRadar studio here in Orlando, Florida. We will waste no time and jump right in. A high-risk severe weather day once again for the deep south. Of course, it was just a couple of days ago, really, on St. Patrick's Day. This same area was under a high risk, and here we go again. Let's check out the app here. And we are looking at the MyRadar app here. You can see this red color over top of Hoover, and to the southwest of that, this is a tornado-warned storm that is, you can see there, in effect until 3 o'clock this afternoon. This is just one tornado warning. We zoom things out here. This kind of darker red color, these are flash flood warnings, something that Alabama saw about a week ago on St. Patrick's Day. Nasty flash flooding from those severe storms that blew by. But, of course, tornadoes are kind of taking the lead in this event, as they should. Let me turn on the outlook from the Storm Prediction Center here. We'll flip that on, and there you can see is the high risk area, that purple color. That is a 5 out of 5 on the scale from the Storm Prediction Center, and there's quite a few populated areas in there. Columbus, Mississippi, Starkville, Mississippi, Birmingham, Alabama, as well as Huntsville, Alabama, all under a high risk for severe storms. Now, we're going to send it over to Aaron Jajak, the MyRadar storm chaser, who is out on the road right now as we speak. Last I spoke with him, he was in the Tupelo, Mississippi area. We have his camera there. We were trying to get him on the phone, but he keeps going in and out of some pretty rough cell service areas, so we have his shot, so we wanted to show it to you. But Aaron is right now chasing down these storms kind of right in the high-risk area. It's a very similar place as to where he was last week, at least geographically. But in terms of what we are anticipating, Aaron actually shot some video earlier today in Tupelo, Mississippi, kind of in the downtown area. Not too many people out and about. The key here, of course, is that people need to have a plan in place. And right now, Tupelo is going to be one of those areas under the high risk. Damien, if you can take the app as well. Notice as well the rays of sunshine coming through the clouds there. That is slightly concerning, especially when you consider the severe weather that is on its way. Damien, if you can take the app, I mean, I'll show folks here. Tupelo, where Aaron shot that video, is in the high-risk area. In the app here, I've got it keyed in right now on the Tupelo area, and you can see it on the MyRadar app. There we go. Perfect. Excellent, Damien. That's all good.
Already starting to fire to the southwest.
Again, that purple color, a high risk from the Storm Prediction Center, a 5 out of 5. Here, just a moment. There it is. So Tupelo, where Aaron shot this video, right here on US 45, you can see is in that high risk area. Where he's driving right now is kind of to the south. But nonetheless, Aaron following those storms all day. We will have another live update with Aaron as soon as he's able to get to a stronger cell area. But big shout out to MyRadar storm chaser Aaron Jajak. Now, I wanted to show you an interview or at least a clip from an interview that Chief Digital Meteorologist Leslie Hudson did with Dr. Harold Brooks, a senior scientist with the NSSL. Now, these folks are, I say that the Storm Prediction Center are like the Navy SEALs of severe meteorology. The folks at the NSSL, those are some big brain folks that they know what they are talking about when it comes to research in severe weather. And we thought that this clip right here was really telling. When you hear this from a senior scientist at the NSSL, this kind of tells you everything you need to know. Take the clip, Damien, roll it.
The tornadoes are survivable. 98 to 99% of people survive. People survive in situations where you look at the house and you go, I don't know how anybody lived through that. It happens all the time. Now, to put that in perspective, that's equivalent to doubling your chances of dying in a given year. So it's not exactly a safe thing, but if you take the right action, you go to the lowest floor, interior room, small room, away from windows in your structure, your chances are pretty good that you're going to make it. You can survive if you take the simple actions of getting as low as you can and put as many walls between you and the tornado as possible.
So you heard it from him. Tornadoes are survivable. That is a really, really key piece of information. Having a plan for a day like today is of the most importance. You don't want to be rushing and panicking. If there's a tornado warning issued for your area, you need to have that plan ready to go. You need to be ready to pull that lever really at any time. And this is what it really comes down to, is how to keep you and your loved ones safe. If you do have a basement, that is the best place to go to. If you do not have a basement, that's okay. You want to go for the most central location of your home. That could be a hall, closet, a crawl space underneath a flight of stairs, a bathroom. What's most important is you want to put as much house in between you and the outside. That's the key here. Don't worry about it being the north or south or east or west facing side of the home. Centrally located. Interior, the most interior room in your home. Put on a bicycle helmet. I know it might sound silly, but if debris is falling all around you, wearing something on your head to protect yourself could really save your life. So make sure that you have a bicycle helmet. That's always a great thing to have in these kind of circumstances. If you don't have a mattress to be able to pull into your bathroom, I totally get it, but you really need to think about this ahead of time. You don't want to leave it to today to kind of have that plan ready to go. Don't get me wrong, you still have plenty of time if you needed to act quickly for your plan. So again, know that room to go to. That's super important, because on a day like today, a 5 out of 5 from the Storm Prediction Center here. What's important to know here is that this is likely to be a widespread, long-lived, and very intense severe weather outbreak. Last week, or on St. Patrick's Day, there were a lot of people reaching out saying, oh, this was overhyped, blah, blah, blah. It didn't live up to the high. I don't know what you're talking about. Maybe it didn't, the tornadoes on St. Patrick's Day didn't affect highly densely populated areas, but it absolutely impacted the more rural areas of the Deep South. So while maybe your home wasn't affected, you've got to think about people in your community. Your neighbors could have been affected by severe weather. And this is potentially shaping up to be a very similar circumstance, but a slight change from the Storm Prediction Center, saying that these tornadoes have the potential to be violent. We are talking potentially the higher end of the scale here, EF3 to EF4, and potentially even an EF5 tornado. And of course, 10 years ago, next month, was the super outbreak across this, hit the mic there, across the entire, this region of the United States, the Deep South, when hundreds of tornadoes touched down. 300 people lost their lives in that event. That was in 2011. So 10 years ago. It's wild to think that that has been the case. Damien, let's jump back here into these, and I'm going to drive the radar around a little bit. We're going to take a look at this tornado-warned storm just to the south of Birmingham here. Now, a couple of key features to really key in on here. Let me grab my pointer tool here. Is this. You can see kind of that hook happening here. That is a concern. This is what is known as a hook echo, which you are seeing on the radar. This V shape here, like that is the V notch, right? So this is that overshooting kind of top here from this incredibly large supercell thunderstorm. But it's likely to be right in here. I'm going to turn on the reflectivity. What's crazy is that this is the radar site right here. So we are talking really close to the radar site. But let me turn on the relative velocity. Right now we are looking at reflectivity, so it's showing us rain and precipitation. But if I turn on the storm relative mean velocity, this is going to give us an idea of which direction the winds are blowing. And that is very important when you are talking about tornadic development, because you need that shear, winds going in opposite directions, or at least winds acting against one another, to get that spin. So Damien, if you want to take me in full, I got to do some charades here. So you have winds going in one direction in a normal environment, right? But when you have now winds going one direction and then you have winds going in another, you start to get this spin up in the atmosphere, and eventually that mesocyclone can lead to potentially a tornado touching down. Now, we can look here at the reflectivity, and this is likely the area that the National Weather Service is keying in on here, because you see how we have, let me grab the pointer tool here, you see how we have the reds and the greens. Well, these mean two very, very different things. What the green represents are winds going to the radar site, whereas red represent winds going away from it. Okay, so it's just winds going toward the radar in green, away from the radar in red. Notice, though, that we have right here, kind of, it's standing out like a sore thumb, right? This is likely the area that the National Weather Service is keying in on. And in fact, if I go back and I turn on the reflectivity, this is very likely where you are seeing, there you go, where you are seeing that hook echo. So that would be what is known as a radar indicated tornado. And that is why you are seeing these tornado warnings not only get issued, but getting extended east and northeastward, because this particular storm cell, it has a history, right? It was previously tornado warned, so it seems that the National Weather Service erring on the side of caution and keeping that warning extended, let alone time-wise, but in terms of the distance as well. So that's really great to see. Something else I wanted to point out to you here is when you're typically seeing an environment like this, notice how back here toward Macon and to the south of Columbus there, we have this, essentially the big shield of precipitation. This is kind of the frontal line here. These absolutely can possess some very strong winds and even put down a tornado themselves. But severe thunderstorms, and particularly storms that put down a tornado, they are very selfish. They want to be by themselves. They don't want to share any of the available energy with the other storms around them. So when you look back at this one here, over the Birmingham area, notice how it's kind of off by itself. That essentially allows this storm to be able to stretch out and grow and get nice and strong. So that is concerning. Now, I see all of you in the chat. It's awesome that you are joining us this afternoon. I really hope that you guys are all staying safe. Now, before we go here, I want to take MyRadar Storm Chaser Aaron Jajak's camera one more time, Damien. You can see that he's now starting to get into an area where things are getting a little more dicey. You can see the clouds looking a bit more menacing there. I know he's chasing down that tornado-warned storm there that you see there over the Alabama area. So Aaron putting in a lot of miles across the Deep South over this past week or so. And we will, of course, have continual updates from MyRadar Storm Chaser Aaron Jajak as the afternoon progresses. As I mentioned previously, Chief Digital Meteorologist Leslie Hudson will also be in this afternoon to take you the rest of the way forward into the afternoon, because right now, as you kind of see, things are really starting to get going now. It's like when you're popping popcorn kernels, right? And that first one pops, and then all the others start to go. That's kind of the stage that we are in right now. So you can see all of the Twitter, you can see all the social media handles above my head here: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and on YouTube. If you are watching this stream on YouTube, smash that like button, that thumbs up. It really helps us out a lot, and it gets this video and videos like it in front of more people that need to see this potentially life-saving information. While you're at it, we'd really appreciate you subscribe to the channel as well and click on that notification bell. That way you always know whenever we drop a new video, or of course whenever we go live. Store.myradar.com to get yourself some MyRadar merch, and of course a portion of the proceeds always goes to a charity, this being Feeding America, to help communities affected by natural disasters. Use the promo code SPRING10 to save 10%. I'm trying to think if there's any other housekeeping notes here, Damien. Of course, we will have updates throughout the rest of the afternoon. This will not be the last time that you see us. Not only myself, but Chief Digital Meteorologist Leslie Hudson and MyRadar Storm Chaser, keeping you up to date and in the loop as severe storms continue to blow up across the southern United States. So from all of us here on the team, for Damien in the back, I have been Meteorologist Mike Linden. Stay safe. We'll catch you back here in the next one.